Blessed be everybody, what's up? Bill Sheets here, Craft Name Manon, and you're watching Witch in the Working, where we will be discussing all things witchy in and out, throughout and about, above, below, and beyond. I have had quite a few of you who really noticed details ask me about what exactly is this thing in the opening intro of Witch in the Working. Specifically, the thing that stands out the most and catches attention is the tetragrammaton symbol at the top of it. Well, in this episode of Witch in the Working, I'm going to go over exactly what this tool is, and not only that, I'm going to teach you how to make your own. Hey, guess what time it is? Roll the intro. Welcome back. It's awesome to see all of your witchy, happy, smiling faces once again. So this mysterious looking concoction that's displayed in the intro of Witch in the Working, if you haven't guessed already, is a magic mirror. My coven, Path of the Sacred Pentacle, uses it for multiple purposes in our circle. What exactly is a magic mirror, you ask? A magic mirror, no matter how early in the morning it is, and no matter how bad of a hair day you're having, when you gaze upon your reflection in it, you look absolutely amazing and perfect. Not really, but I'm pretty sure you could probably buy something like that online on Amazon or something, but now I think I'm just kind of showing you guys how big of a nerd I really am. Anyways, for reals, a magic mirror is a tool that can be used for multiple purposes, but today I'm going to teach you how to make one for divination purposes. Sometimes called a witch's mirror, a magic mirror is simply a mirror, but instead of there being a reflective silver surface, there's a black surface that makes it a lot easier for scrying. Magic mirrors have been used throughout history. The Roman god of fire, Vulcan, created a mirror that produced visions of past, present, and future. And everybody knows the story of Perseus defeating the evil Medusa. She would turn men into stone because they looked at her. Perseus simply held up a magic mirror that, when upon doing so, caused Medusa to gaze upon it herself and turn herself into stone. The earliest of mirrors that people actually first used was a still lake on a calm day. The ancient Aztecs would use obsidian as their mirrors. In fact, there's an ancient Aztec god named Tezcatlipoca, whose name actually translates to smoking mirror. Tezcatlipoca actually wore a black mirror as a chest plate so others could communicate with him. Mirrors have been used for millennia for magical purposes. We all know of the story of Snow White and the witch with the mirror, mirror on the wall scene. We as witches use mirrors for magical purposes all the time, and far more than just scrying. Mirrors are used for protection spells especially. See my video linked above or below where I demonstrate one specific act of mirror protection. Some witches will place mirrors above each window and doorway of their home to reflect any negativity away from them. Some witches will even use mirrored balls like Christmas or Yule tree ornaments and fill them with herbs and stones of protection. Then these are hung up again over windows and doors to reflect back any negativity that has been sent their way. Mirrors, though rarely, are used also as magical portals, so to speak. Everyone knows of the story of Alice in Through the Looking Glass as an example. Practices like the Goetia, the Lesser Key of Solomon, uses ceremonial magic and mirrors to communicate with specific demons and spirits. I've personally participated as a seer in this practice quite a few times, and I don't recommend this to the inexperienced and lighthearted, so to speak. So let's talk about using a mirror for scrying or divination purposes. I personally used to scry as a child growing up all the time, and I didn't even realize it. I would rock in a chair and listen to music, which growing up was mostly classical 80s metal, but regardless, there was a large mirror that was on my dresser in front of me, and I would relax listening to the music and rocking in my chair. I would be gazing intently into the mirror. Now, over a period of time, my vision would start to blur and then cloud over, and I'd begin to see all kinds of shapes and images appear. Eventually, these shapes and images began to turn into little scenes, if you will, little visions that would play out in front of me. Was I crazy? I don't know, but I don't care because it was awesome. Now, It took me years later to realize that I was actually scrying, and if I knew then what I know now, I would have started looking deeper into these visions when I was having them. But C'est la vie. So when you use your mirror for scrying, I recommend you do the same thing. Get in a really comfortable situation and then stare intensely and deeply into the mirror. Say something, if you wish, like, "Mirror before me, hear my call, feel my intent as vision falls. Clouding over, speak to me, as I do will, so mote it be." Stare for a length of time until your vision starts to cloud over. You'll begin to see shapes and forms that take place within the mirror. Do this with some candlelight, gently lighting the mirror and yourself. If it helps, you may want to play some soft music in the background, not very loud though, and something without words. Hearing words can influence your visions. When things start to cloud over, go with it. Keep it up. At first, it'll be hard to hold the images in place, but with practice and over some time, you'll get the knack of it, and these images will begin to form out mini scenes that you later can decipher and see what they meant to you. Even in the beginning, remember any images that you may see and decipher them as what they mean to you. These are in fact messages you're receiving from other sources to help guide you in your circumstances now and forthcoming. When deciphering these images, treat them like deciphering dreams. I recommend you look deep within yourself to figure out what the images mean to you and not use a universal book of deciphering dreams or energies. I say this because what something means to you isn't necessarily what it means and feels to another. For instance, if you get an image of a well in a forest clearing, this may to one person mean peace, tranquility, and good fortune, yet to another person, this could reflect a journey, an adventure, a trial or tribulation upcoming, two very different circumstances. You can also use a magic mirror to gaze into a past life. This is done simply the same way as scrying. Just have the intention that you'll be gazing and calling upon a source that will bring to you visions of one of your past lives. You can also use a magic mirror to find out information. Let's say you want to know about the truth of a situation or know circumstances that have played out, or maybe want to try and decipher a secret being kept from you. Use the mirror for this purpose. Again, just begin your scrying with the intent of what you want to know going forward. You can use your mirror as a communication device directly to the goddess energy. Take your mirror outside with you on a full moon and let the moon reflect within the mirror's embrace. Stare into the mirror once again with the intent of receiving a message from the goddess. Surely this message will come before the moon journeys off the mirror's surface. It is also said that one can see ghosts within a magic mirror. It's said that if you sit before your mirror, brushing your hair in it in the dark, with just one candle lit before you, that a ghost is sure to appear as you gaze intently into your eyes within the mirror. I've never tried this one, but nonetheless, it's an activity that is said to have been successful. As with this, there are many superstitions about the mirror that have been discussed over the years. For instance, it's said to always cover your mirrors during a thunderstorm because the mirror can attract lightning, or worse, that the reflection of the lightning in a mirror can kill you. One of the most famous is that if you break a mirror, you will get 7 years bad luck. Well, I personally don't put any stock into either of these, but if you do break a mirror, I suggest you sweep up the pieces and place them in a jar. Place this jar on a windowsill in your home to reflect any negativity away from you. So, let's get into making your very own magic mirror. Firstly, you'll need to get yourself a picture frame. Make sure it's a frame with a real piece of glass and not the plastic crap that's so popular nowadays. Also, the picture frame itself should be made of wood, no plastic. Make sure the frame is also nice and thick and has a surface that can easily be written or carved on. Also, you'll need some black high gloss spray paint. You'll also need some sandalwood, clove, and cinnamon. If you have it, some orange essential oil also. Now, if you don't have these herbs, that's okay. Your mirror is still going to be fine without them. You can also use mugwort in a pinch by itself or added with the others. So first, we will make the infusion. Use 2 parts sandalwood, 1 part cinnamon, and 1 part clove. Finally, add a few drops of the orange oil. Mix this all up, stirring diesel. Concentrate your energies of divinatory purposes into it. Now, put this to the side for a few minutes. Very carefully remove the glass from the frame. Wash the glass down to be rid of any contaminants, especially fingerprints. Now, consecrate the items before you do anything else with them. I've linked above and below a short video where I explain how to consecrate items before magical use. I strongly recommend you do this before continuing on. This will be rid of any negativity or erratic energy that may be attached to the mirror, either through the manufacturing process or simply by others touching it while it was sitting on the shelf in the store. Anytime you work with anything magically, it should be consecrated and purified before you enchant it. Consecrate the picture frame and also the spray paint itself for good measure. Do not consecrate the herbs. We want them to retain their magical essence. Again, consecration ritual, very important. Link is down below. If you missed the one up top, go look at it. Go on. Okay, so you're back. You've consecrated your raw materials, as I like to call them. So just in case you're wondering, why can't I just build the mirror, or any tool for that matter, and then just consecrate the finished product? Well, you can, but the best way to empower or enchant a magical item is to concentrate your will, intentions, and energies into it while you're building it. If you consecrate the finished product, you just negated all of your good intent and energy. Next, take your piece of glass from the picture frame and take it outside or to a well-ventilated area. Put down some newspaper or whatever and spray paint one side of the glass with your glossy paint. This will be your first coat. Wait about 2 minutes for the paint to partially dry where it's nice and tacky. Do not check it with your finger. This will just leave a visible fingerprint that will be quite distracting in the future. Sprinkle a little of the herb mixture we made onto the tacky black paint. Dust it on lightly, don't go crazy with it. You should definitely have some left over. Don't use the whole bowl, as that will be way too much. Just a few pinches and you don't have to cover the entire mirror. Just a small section will do fine. Now, wait about a half an hour, then go back and spray a second coat of spray paint over the previous coat and the herbs. You're only spray painting one side of the mirror, not both sides. Again, just one side. Leave this to dry in front of a fan or in the sun for a few hours. You'll know it's all good when the paint no longer is tacky to the touch and leaves paint on your fingers. It'll be okay to check the tackiness with your fingers at this point because the second coat of paint has made it thick enough to keep your fingerprint from showing on the front side of the glass. So while the glass is drying, let's get to work on the frame. So on your frame, I like to draw symbols around the edges. You can draw symbols that have a meaning to you or whatever you like. I personally like to keep everything I put on my magic mirror corresponding with divination purposes. Maybe draw some meaningful runes on it, or all of them. I personally like to choose 3 words that describe my intent of the mirror's use, which is scrying or divination. So I chose mystery, secrets, and reveal. Now I like to use the Theban alphabet, which is known as the witch's alphabet, or to scribe or paint these words on my frame. I usually put 1 word on each side with a pentagram reserved for the top. Again, if you go the direction of painting these symbols instead of, for instance, wood burning or carving, you should consecrate the colored paints first. And like I mentioned, if you really want to instill some energy into the wooden frame, wood burn, carve, or Dremel your symbols into the frame. So now that you have your frame done, when your glass is dry, simply put it back into the frame, painted side in the back, so that you have a nice, clean, glassy, blackened mirror face that you'll be staring into. Again, the painted dirty side goes in the back of the picture frame. I'm sorry for stressing this, but I've had quite a few people use the painted side of the mirror to try and scry into it, not realizing it was the wrong side. So now you have your physical magic mirror. 1 step left, and this is the most important step. On the next full moon, take your mirror outside and let the moon reflect into it. Stare into the mirror, and with the full intention of this mirror being enchanted as a divinatory magic mirror, hold your hands above it and concentrate that bluish witch energy that you saw in the consecration video. Put this energy into it and all around it. Say these words or something like them. Drawing down the moonlight rays, reflecting goddess in my gaze, I power you to help achieve the sight of secrets and all unseen. I have these words written at the bottom in the description. You can check them out there. At this point, take a little moon water if you wish and sprinkle some on the glass of the mirror. Sit with your mirror for a few moments and connect with it. Never let direct sunlight touch this mirror, and always keep it covered up with some black cloth when not in use. Congratulations, you now own a fully functioning magic mirror, no more or less than anyone else's. Use it as soon as possible. Take it into a darkened room. Place a candle just off to the side of you and it, just dancing enough light to make out your gorgeous features. Stare into the mirror wherever you feel comfortable. Most will start by staring directly into your own eyes. Wait, be silent, just you and your breath. Here come the clouds, and you're off. That concludes this episode of Witch in the Working. Let me know in the comments below how you did with building your own magic mirror. What symbols did you use on the frame and why? How did you implement them? Carve, paint, Dremel, wood burn? Tell me what you thought of this video. Give me a thumbs up or down, and please subscribe and tell all of your witchy pagan friends to hop on and check out our channel too. This is our channel, my friends and family. Without you and your warm and magical energy, it would be nothing. I love you guys and gals, blessed be, and stay safe.